Hello everybody, what's up, and welcome back to another StarCraft 2 Ownage Shack cast for Force Strategy Gaming. My name is David, and I'm going to be bringing you a Protoss versus Protoss today on Blistering Sands. Before I get into that though, I do want to say thank you to everyone who left me comments and watched my last video. I assure you I read every comment, and I really appreciate the feedback you guys gave me. That was very helpful, really revealing. You pointed out some things in my casting that I did not even notice myself, so I'll definitely try and fix those, hopefully give you a little bit well, less prone cast to a certain word that will not be said here. Thank you very much for letting me know that. That seemed to be the general consensus. But anyways, yeah, going to be a Protoss versus Protoss here. Hope you guys like it. So our first player is going to be the yellow Protoss, RoXKISPomi. Pretty good player I've cast before in the past. I had some info on him, however, I have since forgotten that info. So no big there. He's definitely Masters League, European player, very good. Now, one thing to note, I do think is a little bit bad-mannered. When I've cast him before, he's rage quit quite a few games, so I hope we don't see that here. Never good to see that. His opponent's going to be mouzHasu from the Mouse Sports team. Awesome guy. He's got some great clan members. Really strong players all around, another European here. And, of course, on Blistering Sands, we see, well, if we don't see a 4-gate here, I'll be very surprised, but you know, that is the metagame of Protoss versus Protoss, and that is what we should expect. We see both probes headbutt each other on the way over to each other's base right now. So far, we just have pretty much standard. If we look at the production tab, they're pretty much all identical right now. I think one of them might have used an extra chrono boost on the Nexus. So one's going to get a few more probes out a little bit earlier, but it doesn't matter because the other one catches right back up. Going to be hard to keep track of their names actually here. So Pomi's going to be yellow and Hasu is red. That should help me quite a bit. Going to be throwing down the core right now. Pomi is. Core is already going down for Hasu over here. The gas is already up for both players. Pylons are going down. Pretty much all standard stuff. Really what's going to determine this, if it is a 4-gate, is who's the aggressor and who's the defender. Of course, being an aggressor in a 4-gate situation, some people prefer that stance, others prefer to defend because they like the benefit the ramp gives them. It's really up to preference, and that's going to be the deciding factor here, if it is a 4-gate. Of course, it's definitely looking like it because we don't see a second gas for either player. Second gas would have definitely gone down by now if you were going for any kind of tech. This is way too late. So 4-gates are certainly on the menu right now as he's chrono boosting out that warp gate tech. Zealot finally out, going to hopefully chase that probe out of there, so he doesn't scout the very, very surprising strategy that's going to be coming out of Pomi. Meanwhile, same thing is going on over here, except, well, you know what, they're both getting stalkers. Both went Zealot first. They're pretty much identical right now. There's really nothing that's special going on here to discuss at all. Let me check out the tower, but it's going to take a zap from that guy's, what is it called again? Particle beam, as he quickly does some damage there. Zealot is going to chase this probe out finally, so the probes have finally been forced to evacuate the bases. We see just a pretty much like a circus of probes and attacking units in the center of the map right here. Going to get the tower to hopefully take another swipe there. Does indeed do it, and he can. Oh, he's got to back out of there. He can't deal with a stalker and a zealot, and indeed, Pomi does back out. Looks like the 3 gateways are going down for both players right now. It looks like Pomi was planning to be on the offensive, however, because he did get his gateways out slightly earlier than his opponent. But you know what? Doesn't look like that's going to be the case though, because we see the pylon for Hasu is being warped in right now. So it looks like Pomi's going to be on the defensive, Hasu's going to be the aggressor here, and he's going straight for the backdoor rocks. That is so frustrating on Blistering Sands, something you always have to watch out for. Once these are gone, the attacker really has the advantage because it's such a longer distance to defend both of these areas than it is to simply move your units from the back door to the front. We do have another pylon being put down in the front here. This probe is going to scout, and he sees all the stalkers, so he's got to quickly get over here. He's got pylons right near the ramp, which is very important. He'll be able to warp in units quite fast, and it's very important to get that. You do not want a pylon warping in onto the high ground here. If Zealots get up, it is GG. The Zealots are not in the front, however, for Pomi at the moment. A nice force field. That sentry is going to make all the difference here, really allowing Pomi's Zealots to do their damage versus the Stalkers. They're absolutely having a field day with the front lines of Hasu at the moment. And you know what? I think that Pomi might just come out on top here, is warping in more zealots. That sentry just made such a huge difference. Really great investment saving up that gas. He has to be careful though, don't overextend. We see one stalker is still getting chased down in the back there, while this zealot is quickly focus fired down. Nice micro from Pomi, pulling his weakened stalkers back. Same thing from Hasu, letting his zealots deal the damage, focus firing that sentry, trying to get rid of that. You really don't want another force field dealing the damage. And will the stalker go down? Yes, it does. That's very huge. Hasu warps in another stalker to replace it, but Pomi just has so many more units right now that I think this 4-gate attempt has been completely thwarted, and there goes the GG from Hasu as Pomi takes this in a very convincing fashion. Oh wow, that actually, honestly, what made the difference here was not superior micro, as the case usually is with a 4-gate, but was choosing to get that sentry. That was perfect. That force field allowed him to get take out 3 stalkers, I believe, and when we have a Protoss versus Protoss mirror matchup, 3 stalkers is absolutely huge. There's no way you can recover from that. So anyways, really hope you guys enjoyed this cast. Please, like last time, any constructive criticism, any feedback you have for me is always appreciated. Thank you so much for watching again, and thank you very much for Force letting me put this up on his channel. So once again, guys, hope to see you again for another daily dose of ownage. If you want to see more casts like this, check out my channel. Link should be in the description. Peace out, guys.